Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu The Outer Worlds. Sende das Peilsignal, das machen wir jetzt zuerst. Hat er uns ja gesagt, sollen wir tun. Verfälschtes Peilsignal senden.
That should do it. You've bought me more than enough time.
Okay, also wir haben noch ein Level Up. Und nochmal Schlösserknacken pushen. Und noch ein Vorteil. So. Gut. Könnte es sein, dass wir jetzt auf dem Endspurt sind? Schwer zu sagen, schwer zu sagen. So, also
I
zu
believe
Ada.
I hear Felix and you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony. Meet me in my office. I've authorized your ship at my personal landing pad.
Adjutant Akande has ended her call. Rather rudely, if I might say, considering she didn't sign off. Will there be anything else, Captain?
Okay. Also Byzantium.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Oh, und schon wieder fast ein Level Up.
Not so fast.
Was willst du?
All right, you're clear. The adjutant's expecting.
Bla bla bla. $75.000.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information regarding his whereabouts, you are entitled to collect a reward from Percival. I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking, even disturbing. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move forward. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next, followed by starvation, followed by a breakdown of society, followed by extinction. I know this must come as a surprise to you. I imagine you have questions.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition? All those folks sick and dying, and you knew why the whole time?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. We've known for some time that Edgewater was dying. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater, the disease, the starvation, will soon spread across Halcyon unless we act. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse. But there is a way to save it. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. You handed Edgewater over to a band of dissidents. I can't have this. Adelaide McDevitt and her people have no place in the Halcyon that is to come. Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out. No survivors.
Monster.
Someone has to be. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you. You replaced a loyal, if hard-headed, town leader with a revolutionary. Adelaide's people have turned Edgewater into a hub of dissidents. These people are dangerous. They're going to become more dangerous after the collapse. We need to put them down. Now. The dissidents currently occupying Edgewater answer to no one. They're an unknown, unpredictable variable, and I can't have that. I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Edgewater is a necrotic limb on the body of the colony. It must be severed. Don't fool yourself. The dissidents occupying Edgewater are rebels harboring dangerous and seditious ideas. Left to their own devices, their numbers will grow. Graham Bryant and his merry band of morons caused enough trouble on Monarch. I won't risk the same thing happening in Edgewater. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, Captain. I rather like you, and I'd hate to have you shot for disobeying a direct order. I'm disappointed. I was so sure you had potential.
Die haben jetzt in der Säure. Was, der lebt noch? Musste ich jetzt machen. Ich werde nicht die ganze Kolonie auslöschen, also das ist ja Quatsch. Und wenn die gedacht hat, dass ich das machen würde, ja, dann ist die ganz schön dumm. Vor allem für diesen dämlichen Konzern. Ganz sicher nicht. Ich hätte natürlich wieder die ganze Stadt auf mich einprügeln wollen. Ach, hä? Der gleiche Raum jetzt?
Hey, that's impressive.
Kennst mich doch jetzt lang genug, Pavati. So. Hat einfach mal ein paar, jemand ein paar Bitmodule rumliegen lassen. Gut. Ist gerade die Frage, kann ich mich hier raus teleportieren? Nee. In der Nähe von Gegnern. Wo ist denn hier ein Gegner? Ist der jetzt da raus oder da raus? So, jetzt kann ich alles knacken. Ja, aber ich habe gar keinen Vorteil bekommen. Oh.
Customer, all germs and contaminants have been neutralized.
Cool. Kann ich ja nichts dafür, wenn die mich angreifen. Oh nein. Oh. Das ging aber schnell, Sam. So. Dann bleibt jetzt eigentlich nur noch zur Hope zu fliegen und alles platt machen. Oder die... Ja doch, platt machen schon.
If you stop in the engine room. We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra 2. Or the Sun. Forgetfulness can be an early warning sign of asphyxiation due to loss of pressurization. Are you breathing comfortably, Captain? I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years, but just recently was found. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life forms hibernating in her hold. If you don't mind my saying, Captain, Minister Clark is lucky to have you on his side.
So schaut's aus. So, also wir haben jetzt hier Kommunikationsstation, Befehlsversorgungsstation. Gucken wir mal. Ah, da läuft doch jemand. Bestimmt ein Feind. Komisch, sieht irgendwie genau aus wie die Groundbreaker.
Detected.
Ich. Quincy.
This area has been sanitized.
That ought to do it, Captain.
Ah, Schlüsselkarte.
Showered with pressure. Remove and purify. Leveler. Liquids detected.
Gott, das habe ich da aber auch daneben geschossen. Hm.
Flanker.
Also es nervt mich ein bisschen, dass die immer so überrascht tun.
Hey, that's impressive.
Wir sind lang genug zusammen unterwegs, dass meine Mega-Skills hier nicht mehr überraschen sollten.
Error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself.
Macht überhaupt keinen Sinn, dass man...
Alert, intruder on
Oh,
the premises.
ups, falsche Taste gedrückt.
Instituting correctional behavior protocols.
Infestation in process. Ripped and neutralized.
Waren das alle? Na gut.
You all right, Captain? I mean, seeing this place again.
Ah, und ich hätte nicht mal weiter gemusst. Ich hätte einfach hier... Einfach hier reingekonnt. Oh. Also ich bin jetzt wieder getarnt. Ich dachte, ich kann vielleicht noch die Roboter deaktivieren oder so.
I see you've located the stasis chambers. Which pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it?
Da.
Competition.
Everybody okay? Great.
Should we assign Sam for a cleanup?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna be sick.
Da ist irgendwo noch ein Gegner. Aber wahrscheinlich über oder unter mir. Okay. So, ich muss dahin.
Soldier.
Ah, ja.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Kommunikation.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do. Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost 4.01% certain we will not die. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved? Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2. Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
Okay, Cutscene. Und gleich fliegt's in die Luft, ja? Oder voll in die Sonne.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Oh. I feel like I've been turned inside out. Let's not do that again.
Jetzt hier einen schnellen Weg raus. Da ist versperrt, da ist versperrt. Beziehungsweise kann ich vielleicht... Nee. Moment, waren wir vorhin auch schon so weit unten? Na gut, könnte sein. Nee, da war Sackgasse. Die habe ich alle abgemurkst. Yes. So, schauen wir mal, was bei Phineas los ist. Ich weiß nicht, ob da jetzt überhaupt die Konzernleute sind, nachdem ich Sophia ja abgemurkst habe.
Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
Thank the law you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible. How can I be of assistance? See you soon, Captain.
Na dann schnell zu Phineas. Schauen wir mal, ob wir den
Now
retten können.
arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
So top secret ist es jetzt nicht mehr. Jetzt sind hier wahrscheinlich ein Haufen Leichen. Mhm.
Warps detected.
Oh. Wieso one-shot ich die denn nicht mehr?
Last of them!
Sind jetzt so hochgelevelt oder was? Aber wenn die immer noch hier waren, dann kann Phineas ja eigentlich nicht weg sein, oder? Ah! Dumm, 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 dumm.
Gosh, that's clever.
Tartarus. Ah, doch noch ein System. Oh, Stufe 30. So, das habe ich auf 100. Tja. Hacken vielleicht noch ein bisschen. Ich weiß nicht, wie viel ich jetzt noch brauche. Aber schadet bestimmt nicht, das zu haben. Natürlich. Oh, jetzt ist die natürlich wieder viel besser. Was war deren Vorteil? Zu Boden werfen? Hat die auch. So, das haben wir doppelt. Uiuiui. Alles klar. So, dann auch nach Tartarus. Ist halt nur die eine Quest.
If you stop in... Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum security prison planet, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
Those board goons kidnapped Mr. Phineas and hauled him away to Tartarus. How are we gonna get him out?
Breaking Phineas Wells out of a maximum security penitentiary. I can't think of a better lost cause to commit ourselves to.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again that's the trouble. Trust me, I know.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while. Or permanently.
Okay.
It's the craziest plan I've ever heard. And I mean that as a compliment.
You didn't hire me to think. And I ain't about to start now. You're my boss. And I'll walk into fire with you.
I think it's insane. But maybe the colony needs a healthy dose of insanity right about now.
I know it's dangerous. And I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't do something.
You're asking for more than bravery from us, Captain. But there are worse ways to go than dying for a good cause. I'm in.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea, but I admire your bravado, Captain, which leads me to illogically believe, against the odds, that you will be successful.
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Got my trusty tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs. Right?
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards risky behavior is rubbing off on me, Captain.
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
Und Sam ist halt so komplett unnütz, ey. Also seine Dialoge. Moment, da geht's runter. In die falsche Richtung gelaufen. Ja dann, auf ins Gefängnis. Die letzte Mission, würde ich sagen.
Captain, I hope Dr.
Blar, blar, blar. Ja, DLC habe ich eh nicht.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return.
Wow.
Understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life, I can generate a new ID for the next captain. I would prefer if you return, though. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed. I'm sorry, you people? Did you just cast a generalization on upstanding UDL employees? That's a fine of 200 bits. You're up to 5,708, not including the cost of your execution and the disposal of your remains, which will be assessed posthumously. All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the idea of a productive, law-abiding employee so you can see what one looks like before you die. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance?
Dieser Ausweis wird mir doch bestimmt nützlich sein, oder?
Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain.
So, ihr zwei. Los geht's.
The captain did right by us. The board will never own property. Not while I breathe.
Ach, die helfen mir jetzt wahrscheinlich wegen Pavati, oder?
Neutralize and sanitize.
Eigentlich müssten die Madets doch mich auch angreifen, weil ich ja aussah gerade wie einer von den Konzernern. Man könnte sagen, es hat ein paar Logiklücken. Spaßkamelle. So. Natürlich ungünstig, wenn sowas passiert, während man im Slow-Mo-Mode ist. Egal. Brauchen den ganzen Krempel eh nicht. Nicht mehr in der letzten Mission.
Area sanitization assessment. The labyrinth on Tartarus. Task classification. Easy peasy.
Hat er mich abgehört, weil ich auch immer easy peasy sag?
Let's look around. There's gotta be a few ways through here.
Wirklich ein bisschen labyrinthmäßig hier aufgebaut. Die Grube. Wäre cool, wenn man das irgendwie wieder aufladen könnte, den Ladungsbalken. So, wo muss ich denn überhaupt hin? Darüber.
The captain's here. Let's go. I want to see all of you busting ass.
Achso.
Me, I'm ready to go. And maintenance job fulfilled.
Da.
Take out the trash.
Wow, not even a scratch.
Dum, dum, dum. Ich kann aber auch nicht widerstehen, wenn ich da eine Kiste sehe. Oh Sam, dein Strahl ist aber so hart. Hier gibt es aber echt einige Wege. Hat mich da jetzt noch erwischt? Ist da noch einer oder war das wieder irgendein Statuseffekt? Wozu überhaupt die Tür verschließen, wenn direkt daneben das Schloss ist? Alert, alert. Okay, dann in die Mitte.
Difficult job ahead? Consider equipping a pack of Sam's special solvent stain out remover. It's ruthless on residual blood splatter.
So, jetzt müssen wir doch langsam mal da sein, oder?
After all you've done, all the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me, your misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon. That crackpot's plan is ludicrous. We have steps, action items, budgets, and reports. All he's got is a guilty conscience and lofty dreams. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off. How dare you? Even thinking about killing the chairman of the Halcyon board is a felony. Thankfully, You're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Then I'll drag you to the executioner myself. Is that what you think you're doing? This path of wanton societal disruption? You call that being a savior? I call it sabotage. You know what saboteurs get, Captain? Summary executions. In the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint with your skull. It was fucking expensive.
So, rechts oder links? Nee, links. Rechts leuchtet nicht.
Left hands, Cap. Great work.
Ah! Ach, da brauche ich Hecken. Ja, scheiße. Naja, dann muss ich jetzt halt gegen den kämpfen. Der hält aber einiges aus. Voilà. Oh ja. Ah! Wer hat mich denn da jetzt gekillt? Ah, fuck, wo ist er denn hin? Die lebt ja auch immer noch. Oh nein. Alter, das sind aber auch viel zu viele. Das ist doch scheiße jetzt. Oh Mann! Aber kann ich die irgendwie wiederbeleben? Oh, fuck. Es war das ganze Spiel verhältnismäßig einfach und jetzt müssen sie hier so ein mega viele Gegner Dreck hinmachen. So, der ist hinüber. Mann, 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 Mann. Ich weiß nicht, was der Käse mal soll.
Halcyon after all.
Warning cycle complete.
So.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and killed the chairman just to rescue one doddering old man? You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, you're right. The road is long, and we haven't a moment to waste. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us? You won't hear a word of disagreement from me. When I revived you, I thought we were going to save this colony all by ourselves, but I was wrong. We can't save Halcyon on our own. We're all going to have to pull together, somehow. We are not a colony anymore. Our last connection to Earth has been severed. I don't know if we'll survive, but we're going to have to try our best.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. As the colony struggled to survive, the inspirational story of the iconoclast spread like wildfire. Zora's focus on logistics made for a safer monarch, where the iconoclasts enjoyed a surge of new blood looking to join the ranks from struggling townships. Life on Monarch slowly improved from a desperate fight for survival to prosperous growth and more permanent strength. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took sublight salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. Though he was always haunted by the failures of his past, he was determined to make things right by building toward the future. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. The revival project was hard and painful work, but in the end, despite limited resources, over half the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Even after Wells passed away, the Hope scientists and engineers worked night and day to pull Halcyon from the brink of collapse. Their efforts continue to this day, which may be reason enough for optimism. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Life will never be the same in Halcyon. It is widely agreed that the colony has a chance of stabilizing within a generation, owing to the hard work and determination of the surviving colonists. Recovery is a distant goal, and the path is long and uncertain. But the people of Halcyon carry on, determined as ever. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. You administered the colony in your own image. With the old power of the board destroyed, a new government of Halcyon rose with you at its center. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years that were to follow, and helped ensure the survival of the colony until the end of your days. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Klang jetzt ein bisschen so, als würde der zweite Teil dann losgelöst vom ersten sein. Aber gut. Wird man sehen. Hochzeiten während der Entwicklung. Babys während der Entwicklung. Also Private Division Baby ist das jetzt. Oh, kommt das jetzt für jede Firma? Juhu! Ja, Leute, sind wir durch. Also das Spiel hat mir sehr viel Spaß gemacht, bis auf den Endkampf, der war ätzend. Ich weiß nicht, warum da noch so viele Drohnen dazukommen mussten, die die ganze Zeit ballern. Die Begleiter waren in den meisten Kämpfen nutzlos, weil sie viel zu schnell down gegangen sind. Aber grundsätzlich hat es sehr viel Spaß gemacht. Ich freue mich jetzt sehr auf den zweiten Teil. Ich ärgere mich ein bisschen, dass ich so lange aufgeschoben habe. Aber ja, war ja auch nicht schlimm. Ist ja nicht schlecht gealtert. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Mal sehen, was jetzt als nächstes hier in dem Slot kommt. Und ja, dann lasst mir gerne ein Like und ein Abo da. Schreibt mir noch eure Meinung in die Kommentare. Und dann sehen wir uns hoffentlich bei einem meiner anderen Projekte wieder. Tschüss!